Hello to all my dear friends in Bulgaria. You have reached an auspicious moment, I think, which is that for the first time in the Bulgarian language is becoming available the Gene Keys book on the Venus sequence. And my work on the Venus sequence, which is the second part of the Golden Path program. And this program is an amazing journey of awakening. And it has these three layers to it. The activation sequence is part one, the Venus sequence is part two, and the Pearl sequence is part three. And each of them relates to a different aspect of our awakening. The first part, the activation sequence, which some of you have experienced, is about personal awakening. And it really works on the catalyzing of these codes, these hidden codes of accelerated consciousness that lie inside our body, hiding literally in our DNA. And so that's the activation sequence. The second part, the Venus sequence, is when the journey really gets very deep. And if you're going to work with the Venus sequence, if you feel called to working with it, you're called to a very profound work that will go on for many years in your life. And the Venus sequence describes the exact, precise imprinting of our karma, of our wounding. Now, when I say wounding, I refer to that not in a negative way. I call it the sacred wound. So inside each one of us is a reason for our suffering, and it's in our suffering that our higher purpose is encoded. This is the great secret of the mystery schools. And the Gene Keys is a mystery school. So the Venus sequence is the real work, because as you go into your own Venus sequence and the profile, and you begin to understand and accept and embrace the codes in there, particularly the shadow patterns, you ignite a transformational process that is incredibly deep inside us. And what it does is it takes us back through our childhood, right to the point of our birth, ultimately to the point of conception, because it was at the point of conception that this seed of our suffering was realized and passed to us. And so for us to fully awaken, we have to travel all the way back through our childhood to the point of our birth, through our gestation, back to that point of conception. And it's only when we get to that point can we realize fully what we truly are, the extent, the universal extent of what we are. So the Venus sequence takes us on a very practical journey through our emotional patterns and how they were imprinted. And what that means is it has it reaches into our relationships, because it's through our relationships with others that we experience these karmic ties and these karmic wounds. Through this attraction, repulsion, through the people that we feel drawn to, mysteriously drawn to, through our friends, through our allies, our family, through our loved ones, through our husbands, wives, children. So the Venus sequence, your Venus sequence, allows you to understand every single relationship in your life, why it is there, and its true hidden potential. And it allows you to understand that inside yourself, not to make the other person different, but to awaken the part of you that can love anyone under any conditions, unconditionally. That's the purpose of the Venus sequence. So it's very practical, but it's really like a deep labor. It's a labor of love. So I commend the Venus sequence to all of you, and it feels to me like, you Bulgarians, you have a deep spirituality. I know, because I've been traveling with you, and I feel deeply karmically connected to you and your teachers and your teachings. And I think you deserve this Venus sequence work. And so I really welcome you, and I invite you in your intense spiritual search to go into this teaching deeply and stay with it over months and years, and you will see a miracle growing in your eyes. But it's not a short, simple little fix. It's a deep, probing, long-term work. But it is the only work there is, because unless we can heal our relationships, we can never get beyond into the next layer, which is our collective awakening, which is part 3 in the pearl. So forget about the pearl for the moment. And the true meaning of prosperity, that comes after the heart has fully opened. And that's the Venus work. So I look forward to hearing how you have been diving into this field of the Venus transmission. And I look forward even more to then one day coming to your country and perhaps having some of you come to mine and to do this work together to take it even deeper. And so best wishes, and my love streams out to all of you in the beginning of this next phase of your evolutionary journey. Blessings.